Should you renovate or should you not? In this video, we're going to cover 3 things that you should consider before you renovate your house if you're considering selling. So when thinking about putting your house on the market, many sellers have the question, should they renovate their house or not before putting it on the market? It's every seller's goal to get the most amount of money for their investment, and it should be their real estate agent's goal as well. So it's important to consider if you should take some remodeling projects on or if your house is actually going to do just fine in the market as it is. So in this video, we're going to dive into 3 major things to consider before you start dumping a lot of money into remodeling projects if you're just going to sell the property anyway. So the first thing to consider is the current condition of your home. So every house is going to be different. Every home is different. So you got to consider, is your house something that just needs minor cosmetic updates? Does it need a full, updated bathroom, a full updated kitchen, or does it need other more major things like mechanical upgrades? So it's important to kind of address and consider the current condition of your home and where it stands. If you own a home that's more turnkey and it's ready to go, you probably don't need to do much renovation. You could probably leave it as it stands and let the buyer make their own upgrades and to their own taste when they buy the house and move in. But if it's in dire need of repair, if it needs major mechanical upgrades, or it's really, really outdated, you might need to do your part in updating the home and making it more livable. So consider the current condition of your home before you decide to do renovation work, because your home might actually do really well in the current market conditions and you might get more money than you think. Another thing to consider is you can get a pre-listing home inspection. So before you list your property, you can actually call up a home inspector and they'll do a full home inspection and tell you exactly what upgrades and what things your home is going to need, and you can address those things before you even get to the home inspection with the future buyer that your agent is going to help you find for your property. Doing this can help wipe out a lot of the stress and negotiation that goes on after a repair inspection is done by the buyer, because you're already going to know what problems are there and they're going to be told to you by your own home inspector, and you're going to be able to address those things or at least let the buyer know what those things are before you even go into contract. Number 2 is the current condition of your local real estate market. Now this matters. So this is something else you want to consult with your real estate agent about, because it's a case-by-case situation. Every real estate market is different and some markets are much stronger than others. And it really comes down to inventory. If you're in a buyer's market and there's super high inventory and there's a lot of homes for home buyers to choose from, you might want to take the time and do upgrades and repairs to make your home stand out to those buyers, because they have plenty of options and you want them to come to you and pick yours. But if you're in a seller's market and there's low inventory and there's not too many choices out there, you might want to list your house and take advantage of that hot market while you can. And you probably don't need to put a ton of money into your property because there's not many choices and all the buyers are looking at the same houses, causing demand to go up big time. Your best move in this situation is just to determine what repairs are going to maximize your listing most and go with those. You can do this with your local real estate agent who can give you a great idea of what the current market conditions are. I know for us, when a seller calls, we can even dive into the details as deep as how long the average listing stays on market, and we can really dive deep and discover how much demand is really in your local neighborhood, and we can help you determine how hot your individual market is. That way you have the upper hand. Number 3 is the cost and time needed for renovations. So you have to consider that home renovations oftentimes take a lot of time. And sometimes, and even in most cases, contractors can take longer to complete their jobs than they even estimate. So you have to take this into consideration if you're on a time crunch to move to a new city or a new town and you need to sell your house to be able to move to the next house. So this is something really to consider if you have a property and you have to move out of state for a job or some kind of situation where you're in a rush to move. Renovating a property can be a little complex and it can be really stressful, because when contractors go over their date deadlines, it can really tie things up and make your move that much more challenging. This is why you got to take into account if the repairs that you're doing are going to really boost the value of your home that much compared to what you would get for your home without doing those repairs. Many sellers think that they're going to recoup the cost of upgrades and renovations when they sell, but the reality is, in most cases, Most sellers never get a positive ROI or even a break even on the upgrades and remodels that they do on their homes. So if you're in a hurry to move because of a new job or any other reason, doing renovations and repairs might not be the best idea, and you might want to just sell the house as it is and do some minor upgrades and touch-ups. That way you can improve the home aesthetically and still maximize the value. Whether or not to renovate your home before selling is one of the most detrimental decisions that homeowners have to make. And that's why it's important to consult with your local real estate agent. That way they can advise you on what the current market conditions are, and they can give you a good scope of if it's worth doing those upgrades, or maybe you're better off just selling it as is and doing some minor cosmetic upgrades. That way you can sell and accomplish your goal of moving to your next location. Oftentimes, even if you don't do any major upgrades or renovations, your home will still sell great, especially in an aggressive seller's market. So if you have any questions about selling your home, whether or not you should do upgrades or renovations, definitely reach out to us. We can do a whole property analysis with you, break down a whole report of how hot your local neighborhood is and how fast homes are selling. And that way you can decide what's best for you. So if you have interest, contact our team, The Alpine Group. Our website is thealpinegroup.net. And any questions, reach out to us directly. We would love to help you out. So you have a fantastic day, and thanks for watching.